Hey, I'm Rebecca, the head of community at Common Room, and last week I had the great joy of presenting a lightning talk at the DevRel X Summit. And then later I had the wonderful privilege of speaking to PJ Metz at Project Discovery. And he inspired me to do this video. He was like, "Hey, it was a really cool demo. I would really encourage you to create a video so that people who couldn't attend or who want to follow along in their own time can do so." And so here I am. Thank you for the inspiration, PJ. I won't go over the entire thing that I presented at DevRel X, but ultimately what I was talking about was high impact developer relations, and then really what that means by connecting community and GTM goals. So what does that mean for us when we say high impact? We know that more than 50% of DevRel professionals report to marketing and go-to-market departments. We know that those DevRel professionals, their goals roll up into product awareness and product adoption. And as they ladder up all the way up into that, CMO, COO type of GTM market, go-to-market function, they have main goals from those product awareness and product adoption. They are rolling up and targeting ultimately pipeline generation, right? Like, who are those marketing qualified leads that would really get a lot of value out of your product? And sales conversions. How many customers are actually converting into paying customers because they see the value in your product and they understand how to use it and how to be successful with it. And so as a community leader, I know that this means you're serving two different things, right, that ultimately hopefully coalesce into the same goal, which is win-win-wins all around. But you need to both serve your members well, make sure that they are being responded to, have the information they need, have the understanding they need, have access to the education that they need to succeed with your product, and then also that you're serving your business goals well, right? So that you're helping surface value-aligned buyers and surface those intent signals that you get from around your community channels and the context that is shared in your community channels, and then helping your sales teams increase those prospect to customer conversion rates by having super contextual, super relevant, super timely conversations. So what can you do today? We're going to focus on GitHub. GitHub, obviously, so many of you are spending a ton of time in GitHub, making sure that your community members, you're looking at PRs, right? You're looking at issues, you're looking at stars, you're looking at who's posting what, you're looking at who's starting discussions. You want to understand the context of that activity and the replies around it. And what you can do today with a tool like Common Room, my personal favorite, is you can set up direct alerts so that you and your counterpart teams, whether or not they're in sales, whether or not they're in success or support, or they're in product and engineering, you can set those alerts up so that everyone who needs to know in your counterpart teams know what's going on with your members, what they're asking for, what bugs they're seeing, what product complaints they have, what they love about your product. That's also a good one. You can make sure that you're responding to them. And ultimately, with that context, you can deliver really good context so that your sales conversations, your sales team counterparts can have smoother, faster, and more relevant conversations with your prospects. So let's dive in to see what this looks like in the product. So here we are in Common Room. This is a real customer data, but it is anonymized and randomized for privacy. And as you can see here, I am in the activity tab. And so this is all the activities across all of our connected digital channels. And let's say I'm actually going to look specifically at GitHub because that's what we're interested in today. So I'm just going to say in this GitHub, I want to see source specifically any activities, any member that's posted at least one issue of all time. So this person has decided to go to your GitHub, right? And they've posted one issue somewhere. That's still quite a few activities, over 33,000. So let's continue to drill this down. Let's say I want to see any issues where there's still no reply. Okay, that's 1,400 activities, still quite a few. So let's say, show me this in the last 7 days. So I want to make sure that there's a recency aspect here, and I want to make sure that I'm addressing these things that have just come up. Now that's 306 activities. Great. As you can see here, we auto-categorize it for you. So here's a bug or an issue. This one has topics auto-categorized as, this is a workflow topic, a signal topic. You can see here, this person submitted a pull request. This still has no reply, of course, as you can see. So we're working through here and we're understanding who these people are. Here's a co-founder and CTO at Contra, what they're asking, seeing, and sharing. So 306 activities might still feel like a little too much. So let's add another filter. Let's say I want to deliver timely and relevant context to my sales team counterparts. And so I'm going to apply this automatic tag that we offer you in Common Room called the economic buyer. And so this economic buyer, let's say this is a director level, VP level, CTO level. This is that type of person who has the ability to sign on the dotted line and say, yes, I approve this purchase decision. So out of all these activities, how many economic buyers in the last week have also like created an issue at any point in time, right, where they've come in and still have received no reply? So this is one way where I can really start to narrow down who it is that's speaking to us, what they're asking and sharing. I can make sure that our teams, whether or not it's our support team, our success team, my personal community and DevRel team, or our product team, can dive in and say, hey, we saw that you had this, we want to get you an answer. And then your sales teams can go ahead and say, I understand that we're working on an answer for you, or I know that we're going to get this resolved. And then they can have that contextual rich conversation with this economic buyer, so everyone knows that they're on the same page. So that is one way you can do it, right? But let's say we want to, we're not necessarily looking at any specific issues or economic buyers, but right now what we just want to see is who has, which activities have no reply in the last 7 days and are related to, let's say, a specific category, a product complaint, a bug or an issue, or a product question. So these are something that I might want to say, hey, in our GitHub, and connect directly with my DevRel teammates and our product counterparts. Here, there's 11 activities right now that we want to make sure that we address. And let's say I'm like, I just want to make sure that my product team, they don't need to know the complaints right now or the product question. We're not necessarily triaging that. We just want to triage the bugs or issues. And it looks like there are still 11 that are actually specifically bugs and issues here. And so as you can see, we'll categorize that too. These are bugs and issues. We have a few different topics here that we can look into. So that's one way to do it, right? You can go in and instead of having to manually comb through your GitHub, you can apply the filters that you want. And you can make sure that you're serving both your members and your business that way. So maybe let's say I want to make sure that anyone who has been a contributor to my community, I want to make sure that I am contributing back to them and prioritizing them. So you could even reduce that to, let's say, 9 people first to triage. That's one way to do it. You can come into Common Room, you can apply your filters, look at those automatic categories, look at those automatic member attributes, and then even apply like recency ideas to that. So that's one way to do it. You're like pulling data, right? You're looking at Common Room and you're pulling data based on these filters. But what would this look like if you wanted the data pushed to you? Luckily, one of my favorite things is that you can. So here we are now in Team Alerts, and we're going to create this team alert. So I'm calling this team alert GitHub Triage Priority. And as I say here, I just describe it so other people know what it is. These folks contribute to our projects. They have unresolved questions, and they are in a position to purchase our product. So this is for the economic buyer. So we can go ahead and set up our triggers. Let's say I want this to come from all community sources, right? Anywhere that I have something connected. So as you can see here, we have a Slack connected, Twitter connected, LinkedIn, GitHub, Discord, Stack Overflow, Reddit, YouTube, Medium, our CSV, it keeps going. So let's say I want in any new activity specifically. And now let's say I want to apply, okay, I want to make sure that I'm going to send these over to our sales counterpart teams are going to be in this channel as well, making sure that they know what's happening. So I'm going to say our economic buyers, and I'm also going to say our product qualified buyers. So you can set up all of these auto tags. Go to your settings right here. You can set up the criteria for what it means to your business to be product qualified. So once you set that up, we go ahead in Common Room and apply all those automatic tags to any member that meets that criteria. So I'm going to say economic buyers and product qualified buyers. And then I'm going to add some more filters here. So I'm going to add activity filters, right? We want to say anytime an economic buyer or a product qualified buyer has a product complaint, has a bug or an issue or a product question, I'm going to make sure that that is known. I'm going to make sure that I know immediately whether or not they still have no reply. I'm going to say, let's say I want this to actually be specific to GitHub. So I'm going to say anytime this has to do with an issue, or a pull request comment, or a pull request submitted, or even if they give us a star. So those are all the ways like I am owning our GitHub, and I'm making sure that anyone that matches this type of member attribute and has any of those activities, I'm going to know right away. We can even drill down even further if there's something that your company is like, listen, we know that organization size and revenue really matters when it comes to people being able to make a purchase decision for our product. Go ahead in there. You can say, listen, I want to make sure that the organization size, we know that people that get the most value of our product and are able to purchase are in organizations that have at least 500 to 1,000 folks, and they have an annual revenue of at least 50 to 100 million. And so these are the ways where you can really set up these to be as narrowly scoped or as broad as you want. So you set up that trigger, you set up these filters, and then all you do is choose your internal team Slack channel, which channel you want it to go to. I would probably call this channel the GitHub triage priority channel. And I would make sure that my sales counterpart is in there, perhaps my customer success counterpart or my support counterpart, and then any product or PM counterpart that really wants to know and needs to see when a product question is coming in related to something, let's say around a product, a branch of a product, right? Or any piece of product where they're like, hey, I own this. This is under my umbrella. And anyone that's talking about this on GitHub, I really want to know. So I would make sure to have all those people in the channel. Boom, you create this alert. And just like that, as simple as that, all of that data, instead of you having to go into your GitHub, or rather into your common room and filtering for your GitHub, you can make sure that all of those alerts are pushed directly to your internal Slack channel. And now you know. So thank you so much. I am Rebecca. You can find me at Becca Odley on Twitter, find me on LinkedIn, and most importantly, come say hello to me in the Uncommon Community Slack. We have all sorts of really fun playbooks where you can go through them. And I will put those all in the little Loom notes. And please go ahead, try this out for yourself. Common Room has a free forever tier. So go in there and see what's going on in your community and let me know what you think. Catch you on the other side.